Representation in comics is critical as it is in any medium. It goes a long way when readers see characters that they can relate to. Whether the character is a member of the LGBTQ community, a person of color, a strong three-dimensional female character, or one that has disabilities, you can still rock at being a superhero. And the ability to be a superhero goes far beyond the physical and external. So today we're taking a look at the top 10 superheroes with disabilities. Starting off this list at number 10, we've got Artie Maddox. Artie is a mute and a mutant who first appears in Marvel's X-Factor Volume 1 in 1986. He's capable of projecting telepathic holograms of his thoughts to communicate with others, but he can also make large-scale holograms for defensive means. His other abilities? He can use telepathy to mind-lock people and can tap into others' thoughts and project images in their minds, up to the scale of an entire city's population. Pretty cool. And at 9 is Bart Allen, aka Impulse, and Kid Flash. After joining the Teen Titans, Bart was shot in the knee by Deathstroke, who at the time was being possessed by Jericho. He lost his knee, but he did end up getting a prosthetic one, which didn't impair his speedster abilities. Once he healed up, he reinvented himself as Kid Flash and put his new knee to good use. And at 8 is Misty Knight. Misty, a former NYPD officer, lost her arm when she prevented a bomb attack and had to get it amputated. But Tony Stark gave her a bionic prosthetic, which allowed her to have superhuman strength in one arm, making her capable of crushing most things, along with a punch that packed a whole lot of punch. She eventually became a private investigator, teaming up with her friend Colleen Wing. And at 7 is Nick Fury. Fury lost his sight in one eye during World War II. After a brief career as a stuntman performing wing walking and death-defying parachute acts, he and his Daredevil partner Red Hargrove caught the attention of the military and served with the British Commandos, eventually joining the US Army. Unfortunately, Hargrove is killed during Pearl Harbor, with Fury continuing on in the army with the intent of avenging his friend's death. Due to a grenade blast, he loses sight in his eye, and over time he's lost about 95% of his vision in that eye. But that doesn't stop him from leading S.H.I.E.L.D. and being one of the best agents to ever belong to the organization, having an impressive military and CIA career to boot. At 6 is Captain Marvel Jr., aka Freddie Freeman. He was a character in the Captain Marvel Shazam canon. While the character's origin story has been rewritten, initially when he first appeared in 1941 in Wiz Comics 25, he was a handicapped newsboy who was saved by Captain Marvel from one of Hitler's favorite superheroes, Captain Nazi. Yes, Captain Nazi was actually a character. It's 1941, I think that makes it excusable. He was given his powers by Captain Marvel, so whenever he said the name Captain Marvel, he was transformed from child to teenage Captain Marvel Jr. And at 5 is Dr. Midnight. Dr. Midnight is a DC superhero who is blind, and was actually the first blind superhero, being the predecessor of Daredevil. He was created in 1941. A Golden Age superhero, he was a member of the Justice Society of America, and the character has been reintroduced into the DC universe 3 times since. He has a keen ability to see in darkness at the cost of near or total blindness in sunlight, and he's a doctor who helps both humans and metahumans. He's also the first superhero to ever have exhibited a handicap. And at 4 is Echo. Echo, aka Maya Lopez, is one of the only deaf characters in comics. When she's a child, her father is killed, and his partner in crime and murderer, Kingpin Wilson Fisk, raises her as his own. She's an Olympic-level athlete possessing photographic reflexes, meaning she can perfectly copy other people's movements, which has led her to becoming a brilliant pianist, a powerful martial artist, and she's copied Bull-Eye's superior aim. She reads lips and sometimes has trouble communicating with heroes wearing thicker masks, but still manages to kick some serious butt regardless. And at 3 is Daredevil. Being blind has never stopped Matt Murdock. Aside from being a stellar lawyer with his own firm and excelling in law school, he's one of Marvel's most badass superheroes. He's a highly skilled acrobat, a martial artist, a hand-to-hand combatant, has superhuman senses, and a radar sense. And he's got a popular Netflix show to boot. Can't argue with the ratings. Although when the show first came out, Netflix dropped the ball and didn't have audio descriptions for the visually impaired. While it was quick to fix the issue, this helped raise awareness for a lot of other shows to step up and do the same. And at number 2 is Charles Xavier. One of the most powerful mutants in the X-Men, and quite frankly to ever exist, Charles Xavier is a paraplegic who is a scientific genius and is the leading authority in genetics. His telepathic abilities include mind control and reading, memory manipulation, astral projection, and he's capable of some pretty powerful psychic attack moves. X-Men is a comic that deals with alienation, xenophobia, prejudice, and marginalization, and Dr. David Huxley from Manchester University, who specializes in comics and graphic novels, states it perfectly, and I quote, "It directly responds to the way in which disabled people can be made to feel. The fact that he's in a chair is irrelevant to the plot. Brain power is the most important aspect of his character, and this is a key message." And finally, in our number 1 spot is Oracle. In Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, the Joker shoots and paralyzes Barbara Gordon, causing her to become paralyzed in an attempt to drive her father insane, which is all part of a greater scheme scheme to prove that Batman can be morally compromised. The character then takes up the role of Oracle, who uses technology and computers to help aid her superhero friends, and in a big way. In recent canon, she's become Batgirl again after a long therapy process, and still deals with a lot of trauma due to the accident. Which is why some fans were outraged when her variant cover for the Death of the Family story arc with the Joker featured her crying, being held by the Joker in his Killing Joke outfit. And in 2006, Moore actually stated that crippling the character was shallow and ill-conceived. That being said, John Ostrander, who brought Barbara back as Oracle in 1989, has noted the overwhelming support the character has received, and has stated that, I quote, "These shouldn't be stories about a disabled person. They are stories about a compelling, fascinating character who happens to be in a wheelchair." And I think that's correct. Barbara isn't her handicap. There's more to her than that. So there we have it, guys. Any superheroes we should have included on this list? Let me know in those comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. And check out some of our other nerdy lists while you're at it. But for now, I'm Kelly Pally, and this has been Top 10 Nerd. I'll catch you guys in the next one.